2022 edition of the World Cup is finally here. Matchday 1 has had some pretty crazy matches. We see some heavy defeats such as Costa Rica holding 7 goals to Spain and England putting 6 past Iran to confirm that football is indeed coming home. As well as that, there's been a few major upsets such as Saudi Arabia's 2-1 win over Argentina and Japan's 2-1 win over Germany, but we'll cover those matches in more detail later in the video. Now just a quick heads up, I'm not going to cover every single game that took place in Matchday 1 because realistically I don't think many people care about Denmark drawing 0-0 with Tunisia for example, but I will cover the more interesting matches. First up is Qatar vs Ecuador, which was the only match of the tournament, and bro, Qatar were terrible in this game. I didn't really know what to expect from Qatar, as the only thing I knew about them going into this match was that they won the Asian Cup in 2019, but judging from their performance against Ecuador, who knows how they won that, because they did not play well. Now although Qatar weren't the greatest, you have to give credit to Ecuador as they played pretty well, and the main man up top, Enner Valencia, did the business for them, with him scoring in the 16th minute and the 31st minute to win the match for his side and become Ecuador's highest scorer at World Cup of all time. This loss makes Qatar the first host nation to lose the opening match of the World Cup, and if they continue to play like how they did against Ecuador, then they could become the second host nation to go out on the group stage after South Africa in 2010. England faced Iran and scored 6 goals to convince the entire nation that football is coming home. After being relegated from the Nations League a few months ago, it was being questioned whether England would do well at this World Cup, and although it's only been one game, England seems to be on the right track. Jude Bellingham scored the opening goal in this match on his World Cup debut at the age of 19, which is nuts, and the next 3 goals came from Bukayo Saka, who scored a brace, and Raheem Sterling. This made it 4-0 in the 62nd minute, and 3 minutes later, Taremi scored for Iran to wipe out England's clean sheet. Rashford managed to reclaim England's 4-goal advantage in the 71st minute though, and about 20 minutes after this, Jack Grealish scored to make it 6-1, and did a celebration he promised Man City fan he would do, which was a kind gesture. Taremi did manage to score another goal in this match for a penalty 13 minutes into stoppage time, but this didn't have any effect on the result as the 3 points still came England's way, leaving them at the top of their group at the end of matchday 1. Senegal up against the Netherlands and lost 2-0, and despite them missing their main man Sadio Mane up front, they put up a decent fight against the Netherlands with the 2 goals they conceded coming late on. Cody Gakpo was the guy to break the deadlock in this match, for him getting to the ball just before Edouard Mendy could claim it and headed it into the back end of the net, and the second goal was scored by Klaas on a rebound 9 minutes in stoppage time to secure the win for the Netherlands against this year's AFCON winners. Also, I have to say I was a little disappointed with the referee at one point in this match because this definitely should have been a handball for Frenkie de Jong. Anyway, not much else to note happened in that match, so let's move on to a match which is probably one of the most eventful matches of the tournament so far, and that's Saudi Arabia's 2-1 win over Argentina. Argentina were 36 games unbeaten going into this match and one of the favourites to win the World Cup, but Saudi Arabia managed to pull off a massive upset and defeat them by 2 goals to 1. Lionel Messi scored from the spot 10 minutes into this match, and it seemed like Argentina were on course to win this match as expected, and within the next half an hour of this goal, Argentina got the ball into the back of the net on 3 separate occasions, but all 3 of these times they were deemed to be offside and the scoreline stayed at 1-0. Saudi Arabia ended up punishing Argentina for these offside goals, as 3 minutes into the second half, Al Shaheri levelled the game, and just 5 minutes after this they took the lead with a sensational goal by Al Dasari to stun Argentina. There was still around 40 minutes left until the end of this match, so the win wasn't guaranteed for Saudi Arabia at this point, but they did extremely well to keep Argentina at bay, and by the end of the match they took all 3 points and pulled off one of the biggest World Cup upsets of all time, and it's safe to say their supporters went wild. The USA came up against Wales and drew 1-1. The Americans got their goal in the 35th minute when Pulisic played through a great pass to Timothy Weah, who then slotted the ball into the bottom corner. The USA managed to hold on to this 1-goal lead for around an hour, but late on in this match their centre-back Zimmerman must have got confused and thought it was American football because he clattered Gareth Bale inside his own box for pretty much no reason considering Bale's back was turned to goal, and as expected, Bale took this penalty and scored to make it 1-1. In the final few moments of the game, Wales could have potentially scored a second had it not been for a tactical foul by Costa, as USA's keeper Matt Turner was far off his line, and I have no doubt Bale could have scored from basically the halfway line. France came up against Australia and beat them 4-1. Australia scored the first goal in this match when Goodwin rifled the ball past Lloris from the close range in the 9th minute, and this goal got people questioning whether the World Cup curse would strike again and France would lose their first game and go out in the group like they did in 2002 after winning the previous World Cup. However, France quickly put any thoughts of an upset to bed as 2 goals in 5 minutes from Rabiot and Giroud late on in the first half helped France take the lead, and they added on to the lead in the second half with Mbappe scoring a third in the 68th minute and Olivier Giroud following us up 3 minutes later with his second goal of the game to make it 4-1 and make him go level with Thierry Henry as France's all-time top goal scorer. Aside from the goal he conceded, this was a pretty dominant performance for France and it seems like they could go far in this tournament. Moving on, Japan faced Germany and pulled off another massive upset for the history books. Germany were generally the more dominant team in this match, them having the large majority of possession and having 5 big chances across the 90 minutes. However, they were only able to put away one of these with Gundogan scoring a penalty in the 33rd minute. Japan looked much better in the second half though and didn't let them being a goal down demotivate them, and eventually 2 goals in 8 minutes from Doan and Asano late on in the match saw Japan take the lead, which they managed to hold on to until the final whistle, securing a crucial 3 points for them which could very well help them progress out of the group stages. Germany on the other hand will be devastated by this, as them losing him means they could fail to qualify out of the group stage for the second World Cup in a row, as Japan could beat Costa Rica to get 6 points, and the next match is against Spain who look very good. Speaking of Spain, they faced Costa Rica and demolished them 7-0, setting numerous World Cup records in the process, such as the most successful passes in the match at 978, as well as having the most possession in the match ever at 82%. Surprisingly enough though, the 7-goal margin wasn't the biggest win in World Cup history, as there have been a few 9-goal margins in the past, but regardless, this was an excellent and historic performance by Spain. Their 7 goals came through Dani Olmo, Asensio, Ferran Torres who scored a brace, Gavi, Soler and Alvaro Morata, and to make things even better for Spain, not only did they score 7 goals in not concede a goal, they didn't let Costa Rica take a single shot of the entire match. Uruguay came up against South Korea and drew 0-0, and to be honest, I don't really have much to say about this match, other than I think Kim did a good job at helping South Korea keep a clean sheet. Anyway, moving on to a match I actually have things to say about. Portugal faced Ghana on 1-3-2. It took over an hour for the deadlock to be broken in this match. Cristiano Ronaldo scored a penalty in the 65th minute to become the first man to score in 5 separate World Cups, which is mental. However, it was debatable as to whether or not it was a penalty. Ghana fought back though and equalised the game in the 73rd minute when Ayew tapped the ball into the back of the net. However, the scoreline didn't stay 1-1 for very long, as within the next 7 minutes of this goal, João Felix and Rafael Leão scored to make it 3-1 to Portugal. Leão's goal being his first ever touch of a ball at the World Cup, and judging from the smile on his face, it seemed like he knew he was about to score the second he made contact with the ball. Ghana did manage to reduce his deficit in the 89th minute for Bakari, who decided it was a good idea to celebrate his goal by hitting Ronaldo's 2 celebration instead of getting the ball out of the net and help his team find an equaliser in remaining minutes, which is very shameless, but at the same time I have to rate it. Ghana did almost equalise the game in the final few minutes when Diogo Costa was completely unaware that Naki Williams was behind him and put the ball down on the ground. But as Williams rushed to get the ball before Costa could boot it, he slipped and was unable to score, which is so unfortunate, as if he had scored, that would be one of the most iconic World Cup moments ever. Finally, Brazil played Serbia and beat them 2-0. Going into this match, Brazil were the heavy favourites to win the game as well as the World Cup itself, and showed exactly why in this match, as they dominated Serbia across the 90 minutes and ended up scoring 2 goals against them, both of these coming from Richarlison in the second half. His first goal was a relatively simple tap and rebound, but his second goal was honestly a goal of the tournament contender, with him scoring a stunning overhead kick to secure the win for Brazil in the 73rd minute. Anyway, that was World Cup Matchday 1 recap. So if you made it this far and you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and more share, comment on your opinion on any of the matches on this match day. With that being said, have a good one guys. See ya.